Hey, it's MK, and I am here with another Mixed Media Mayhem layout for you guys today, and I am using the sketch from 30 Days of Sketches for my Mixed Media Mayhem recipe, or actually I should say I'm using the sketch, but we have another layout created by someone else that did Mixed Media Mayhem, or Mixed Media in the background, but I am going to use this sketch and incorporate what they did for Mixed Media in the background of this sketch. So I'm going to be turning Miss Carrie's sketch for today, and I'm shrinking it down to an 8.5 by 11. So I've got all of these really cool pieces picked out, and they're just random bits and pieces that I had in my outdoorsy category. So I tried to pick all of these light colors to go with a few of the things. Some of the stuff will not actually make it into this layout, and some of the things will definitely make it in this layout, but they should come in a different layout. They should come back, I should say, because once I shrink a layout, it's actually one of those things where I realize I don't have as much room as I wanted to be able to do all the things. So here I'm going to bring in this corrugated paper, try to use it and cut off all that extra stuff. I've got this scrap of C'est La Vie wood grain paper. I have this scrap of 49 and Market. It's just from the packaging. And then from Cartabella, I have the Great Outdoors scrap. This is another one of my all-time favorite plaids. I know I say that about every plaid that I get. For the cut file that I'm going to use for the Mixed Media Mayhem portion, I've got this cut file here that was from the Not Just for Boys. It's before they started putting their stickers on their cut files, but it's from Not Just for Boys. And I have had it for a very long time. And I think it came in one of their kits that, so you couldn't buy it a la carte, but you had to buy it in the kit. Now, this piece of paper is a good cardstock paper. It's actually going to be my background, and it is a very light grid. I'm super excited about it. I didn't know that until I started taking the cut file out. So for the mixed media portion of this, the inspiration layout, which again, remember, I switched my two pieces around. So the inspiration layout that I used for last Friday was actually today's. And so today's was last Friday's inspiration layout. And what she did was she took a cut file, laid it down on her page, and then sprayed around it. So that is what I am going to do with my cut file. However, I'm going to take this cut file and disassemble it. I only want the tree portion. I don't want the mountains and the bears. So that is on me. My wood grain was not quite dark enough for me, so I'm going to go ahead and ink it up, and then I cut it too short. So later, I will be bringing in the other bits and pieces, so that way it's not accidentally cut too short, but that was my bad. I didn't realize how long Miss Carrie's piece was. And so here's where I realized, oh no, I just cut that too short. It was supposed to go dang near all the way to the bottom. So I've also got a little tag that I want to make. So I'm going to make the tag out of this adorable pattern. What is it called? Plaid. And then I'm going to cut off a little bit. I'm just using my scissors because this is, again, another really quick page. I didn't make my tag as wide as Carrie's, but again, I shrunk the layout. So I squished the layout, which means everything else was squished. So my tag was squished. Here's where I add my wood grain to the bottom. So that way I definitely can get all of that in. And then I'm going to go ahead and add this corrugated piece behind my photos as well, just for another little add-on, another little depth and dimension that I wanted. And I'm going to use all the pieces to help support my my photos, so I don't have to use foam tape either. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out all of my trees and things. And the first thing that went with my trees is the little bears. I'm sorry. I find it hard. I don't live in a bear country. And so I find it a little bit hard to use the bears, but I'm going to lay out all my pieces. And then when I have all my pieces laid out, this is where I'm actually going to be able to see where the tops of my trees are for me to do the spritzing and the spraying, just like the inspiration layout. Well, then I liked how the the shiny part of the spritz and the spray from my inks, even though they didn't turn green because they're black, they kept the sparkle. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't not use these on my layout. So I actually end up using my cut file as an embellishment on the layout, as well as using them for the background. So I'm going to go ahead and use my rag to help me cover up the overspray. I don't want to get anything on the rest of my work surface, or if I didn't push anything back far enough, or if I angle it just wrong, then it goes everywhere. So I wanted to make sure that my spritzing was controlled or contained, so that way I didn't end up accidentally spraying anything else and making it all glittery. So I do love how the glitter just shows up on those trees. It's gorgeous. Now, not all of those trees are going to be showing in the end, but I still really like it. I went ahead and used some washi tape to go ahead and put my wood piece together, just so that way I didn't have two pieces to work with and, save myself a heartache. I like the fact that I was able to use my 8.5 by 11 backer piece for the cut file. That just makes me smile. I love it when those things like that come together. I really do. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is tape my photos together on the larger piece of the corrugated cardstock. And then I'm going to put the cardstock piece or the corrugated piece that I cut off that had the little half circles cut out of it. I'm going to go ahead and use that to help support the photo that's laying off to the side. So, and I do push really, really hard. So I'm taking all those flutes, which is the little loop-de-loops on the corrugated, and I'm pushing them down quite hard. So my page isn't super thick, but it is thick enough to where I get that texture that I'm looking for. I really do like how this looks. I like how the corrugated fills in that page and makes it the same gap between the wood grain and the corrugated all around and like framed in the layout with inside the inside of the base page. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of this all set up and laid out. Where do I want these pieces? Now these trees are going to end up actually coming apart because I realize that I have a little bit of dead space to work with in my photo, which gives me a little bit more room on an 8.5 by 11 to play with. I love finding all the room I possibly can. So I'm going to overlap my trees onto, one underneath and one on top. And I really do like how that ends up looking, just because of the fact that it's not really planned, but yet it looks really good having that edge of the photo overlapping some of those trees. So I decided to flip my trees and see if I like them that way before going and spraying them, because some of them that are flipped, I'll have to respray. But then I ended up flipping all of them, and I don't think I ended up spraying any of them. That was the whole point though, right? I used it because I liked the fact that they were sprayed and glittery, and now I just flipped them and now they're all black again. So who knows what I'm thinking. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this really tall Dusty Attic chipboard tree that I painted a while ago. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in between my two cut file trees. Sorry, I wanted to call them die cut. They're not die cuts. And then I have this wander tag. Now I play with it and play with it. I don't think it actually ends up on this layout, if I'm being honest. I think that I end up taking it out. I also don't end up using these rub-ons because now I've taken away where I could use them, right? I don't have any blank space to bring them in. Now, I definitely could have done a little bit behind the trees and a little bit here and a little bit there, but don't worry, they will come back for another layout. I do like having this other little tag up here at the top because it matches the tag that I made out of the plaid. So I do like that. And then I'm finally, holy cow, I have had this patch for probably 4 years now. Since 2019-ish. I've had it for quite a while, and I am so ecstatic that I finally get to use it. So I am super excited about that. And then the last thing I'm going to do to finish off this layout is a little bit of splattering. And I am in love with how the cut file looks sprayed on the background of my layout. I just am loving how it blends in with the actual cut file, and it looks like it was extended. I love the bottom to where the trees look like they go up and all the way behind my photos. I am in love with this layout, you guys, and all the little scraps that I used to make it. I have to say that my 8.5 by 11 layouts are becoming one of my favorite layouts that I create, even though I do enjoy doing my 12 by 12s. These ones are so fast and so simple and so fun. I love them. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really, truly appreciate it. Miss Carrie, thank you again for an amazing sketch. I had a blast playing with your sketch, shrinking your sketch, and getting all the little pieces to work for my layout. It was so fun. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have down below for the 30 days of sketches, as well as Mixed Media Mayhem. So yeah, don't forget to check out all of that inspiration. And then, of course, if you want to see the inspiration layouts over on Mixed Media Mayhem, they are over there as well. Just remember that I switched last week's with this week's, and I apologize about that. So anyways, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will check y'all later. Bye.